Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everyone, welcome to Painting Watercolours with me, Colin. This is only a suggestion of how you could paint one. Nothing is set in stone. I've left a thin film of water on the paper after stretching it, which is just wetting it both sides until the paper expands, and I'm just removing the excess water off it. I've been missing for some time, so welcome to any new viewers that we do have. My apologies to my old viewers. Now I'm just putting some Naples yellow in here and just let this float on that film of water I've left behind. Just deciding how much I'm going to put on. I think that will do it. I want the sky to be fairly pale, and I'll be doing kind of an autumn scene, and I want to put some Sennelier orange. These are all Sennelier watercolours. Well, this can tend to pale right down, which I don't mind. You can mix it in with the yellow, you do get a little bit of a change of colour. I've been busy for 8 weeks with some 8 oil paintings I've had to make, well produce, and it didn't really leave any time to make any watercolours, so I do apologise for that. But they can take me up to 2 days to actually paint this and then edit it. And for the few views that sometimes you get, sometimes I'm afraid it just, because of the algorithm that YouTube use running, you don't get seen, so you could end up losing some of the channels that you like. You need to use the like button and the comment section really to make any difference, and that's the way it works. This is a mixture of cobalt blue with a hint, a tiny speck, just a tiny speck of alizarin crimson in, and burnt sienna. These are just the initial washes. I'm just spreading some water through this. Don't be frightened of doing this, it's all very, very wet at the moment. And I'm just bringing some of these colours together and just mixing them really, just on the paper. The water will help push some of the paint around, giving you some light and dark effects while it's still really soaking wet. I'm going to let the sky dry. Now your sky has dried out quite a lot. It's almost dry, but I do like to keep it slightly damp. And I'm going to do each of these hills separately. So I've taken some of the original sky colour, re-wet that hill, taken some of the original sky colour and added a little bit more cobalt blue to it and some burnt sienna. I have got masking fluid on the trees and the fence posts and the gate. Don't fiddle with it too much, just that's it. Then you're going to let that bit dry. Now the back hill is dry, we come round to the next one. I've taken some of I left the sky mixture in as it was, and I've just darkened it with a little bit more. Well, I've dropped French ultramarine into it and some burnt sienna, just to make it a slightly darker colour. And what I might do with this one is just drop a little French ultramarine into it. And you're just going to let this run down, mop up any excess that you don't want to come too far. I want to put a lighter colour in here, so I'm going to take some of the bottom of this off, with a damp brush, so it doesn't come down too far. Then you're going to let that one dry. This is some Naples yellow that I'm just putting in the mid-ground here. raw sienna into this. Just changes it slightly. And I also want to take a little tiny bit of the sky colour, which is the cobalt blue, with a touch of alizarin crimson and some burnt sienna. Just add a little bit of sky shadow in, not everywhere, just to help change that up. Just brings a little bit more depth into it, but always leaving some of the other colour to show. To bring in some Naples yellow down here as well, I think. Take some of the yellow, bright yellow. Bring it in along the bush line. Taking some raw sienna as well. Just gives variation in your base colours. There's raw sienna and some of the Sennelier orange. I'm just going to bring some of this in. Once again, it's in patches. So I'm going to take some of this. This is French ultramarine with the cadmium yellow lights, or the Sophie yellow, just a bright yellow colour. Along the lines of where the bush is, I just want to drop a little bit in and allow this to creep up. I have got the board flat at this point. I'm going to take some of this is a yellow green, just have a little touch of French ultramarine in it. Can also add a little bit of this into the grass. All helps to add interest. Don't fiddle with that, then you're going to let that dry. Some people do ask me about the bulldog clips around the watercolour paper. I just find it easier to use than masking tape. Masking tape comes off and this doesn't, and you can use them time and time again. So I'm just taking an old oil brush or a tree and texture brush, because I've got quite stiff bristles and I kind of like them. And I'm going to add some texture into the grass. And this is just raw sienna. This is that mixture of raw sienna and the Sennelier orange. This has more of the orange in it. Same mixture, it's just raw sienna with different levels of the orange. I want to bring some of the bushes out in this. So I'm just going to use the corner of the brush. They say you can use an old oil brush for this. Take some of the yellow, straightforward yellow. I'm going to add something to the tree at the top. This way it's been nipped by the autumn weather, not too much. I'm going to pick some of the green up. Take some Venetian red or light red if you have that, any brick colour. You can add some autumn leaves. It's just showing you the change in the colour. This is some of the darker green, French ultramarine, a little bit of burnt sienna and the yellow. Some of this into the bushes as well. Just a very light touch. I'm going to bring some in around here, just to edge the paper in. Darker stuff. Just a tiny touch of yellow. It's just so long as you get some variation in. And then I'm going to let that dry. Just off camera, I just flicked up one or two blades of grass with some of the dark green and some of the orangey colour, and I've rubbed the masking fluid off the tree. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of dark colour, French ultramarine and burnt umber. I just want to edge up this path. Gently bring this in. Just adding shadow into it. Now I'm going to take some of the very light green. I'm going to run this down this tree into the water. And when it's an oak tree, I'm just going to make this edge very rough. Some of the really dark green. Just want to rub some of this in as well. Just dropping it in and allowing it to mingle with the water and the other paint colour. Always allow some of that other colour to show through. I'm going to take some of the French ultramarine and burnt umber. I'm going to drop this in along this edge and allow this to mix with the other two colours. Some of it will mix, some won't. You'll get variation in the tree colour. And I'm going to take some of the dark mixture once again. I'm going to add some dark onto these leaves, and ultramarine and burnt umber. Some structure. That's just a technical term for branches. I may have painted something quite similar to this in the past, but every now and again I do like to return to a subject and paint them a different way or in a different season. One or two dark branches in the bushes. Let's just see if this will scrape. One or two rocks in. This is just an oil painting knife. Just put some of these in the dark patch. And before we can do the fence, we have to let that dry so we can rub the masking fluid off. Now that the masking fluid has been scraped off the gate, put in one or two shadows on the sides of the wood, and it just helps it to stand out a little bit better. I don't want to do full lines if I can help it. Broken lines always seem to work better. Let your eye fill it in. This is almost what I want to do with that. This is where you get to sign it, put them out around it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, remember to use the like button and consider subscribing. All helps with YouTube's algorithm, and it helps small channels out if you want to keep them going. So until next time, thank you very much for watching.